Welcome to English for Arabs channel. Today we're gonna have Unit 10, Part 1, Interchange 3, 4th edition, Unit 10, Part 1. Unit 10, the past and the future. 1. Fade. Fade, to lose color, brightness. To lose color, brightness, or strength gradually. Strength. G silent. Fade, to lose color. Hit the music scene. Become known in the world of music. Launching, starting. Launching, starting. British, American, launching, starting. Craze. Craze, a fashion that's popular for a short time. Craze, a fashion that's popular for a short time. Overnight sensation. Overnight sensation, a sudden success. Overnight sensation, a sudden success. Sweeps the nation. Sweeps the nation. Becomes popular very quickly. Becomes popular very quickly. 3. Words of exercise number 3. Debate. Debate, a serious discussion. Debate, discussion, a discussion. A debate, a serious discussion. Dwarf. American, dwarf. Very small. Downgrade. Downgrade, to reduce to a lower rank or position. To reduce. Downgrade, to reduce. To reduce rank or position. Exploration, discovering. Spacecraft, space vehicle, spaceship. Rovers, a strong powerful vehicle designed for traveling over sweep ground. Rovers, strong powerful vehicle designed for traveling over sweep ground. Here I can make the G silent. Traveling. For traveling over great steep ground. Steep. This is like bumpy road. 4. Catastrophe. Disaster. Calamity. Disadvantage, shortcoming. Disadvantage, disadvantage, shortcoming. Revolution, a change in the way of a country is governed. Revolution, a change in the way a country is governed. Usually to a different political system. Revolution, a change in the way a country is governed. Revolution, a change of the political system. This is a change in the political system of a country. Assassination, killing an important person, usually for political reasons. Assassination, killing an important person, usually for political reasons. 5. Words of exercise number 5. Epidemic. P for pen. Epidemic. The appearance of a disease. The appearance of a disease. Terrorist act. Luxury. Great comfort. Cell phone. Mobile. Cell, E as a sound. Cell phone, mobile. Hijacked. When someone uses force to take control of an aircraft. Hijack, when someone uses force to take control of an aircraft. When someone uses force, power, to take control of an aircraft. Feathers, summit, top, 6. Impact, effect, influence. Impact, effect, influence. 7. Biography, biography. Award, awarded, awarded. Award, to give. Award, to give. Promote, a higher position. Unit 10. The past and the future. Exercise number 1. Snapshot. "50 years of fades." Fade, to lose brightness. But here, 50 years of fades, it means something appeared suddenly and then disappeared. Picture number 1. This is Barbie, 1959. The first Barbie doll comes on the market. Doll, this is doll like a puppet. A toy. Barbie toy, Barbie doll. So this is especially for girls. In 1959, the first Barbie doll comes on the market. In 1979, disco becomes the latest dance craze. Craze, mania. Like people like to do it, to go to dance clubs, so they go to disco to dance. In 1980, millions of Rubik's cubes are sold. So these are some cubes. This is a cube, and millions of these cubes are sold. In 1998, Pokemon becomes an overnight sensation. Pokemon becomes a very famous, successful suddenly. 2005, the first of 4 Twilight books is released. The beginning of 4 Twilight books is released. In 2010, look at the picture. The popular TV show Lost comes to a close. So in 2010, a very famous television show called Lost in an island, becomes to a close. It becomes to an end. It was about to be finished. Have any of these fades ever been popular in your country? In Egypt? Have any of these fades becomes famous in Egypt? Yes. Barbie, Rubik's cubes, Lost. Can you think of 4 other fades from the past or the present or present? Is there anything popular right now that could be a fade? If there's something famous now and it could be finished later? We have also Folla doll in the Arab world. It's a fade. Exercise number 2. Look at the picture. What do you see? This is a conversation between two persons. A woman, she's reading a book or a magazine. The man is thinking. Maybe the young lady or the woman is asking him. It means she is asking him some questions about information. Listen.
Conversation. I'm good at history. Part A. Listen and practice.
Look, here's a quiz on events of the 20th century.
Oh, let me give it a try. I'm good at history.
All right. First question. When did World War I begin?
I think it began in 1917.
Huh. And how long has the United Nations been in existence?
Since Kennedy became president in 1961.
Next question. How long were the Beatles together?
Well, they started in 1965 and broke up in 1980, so they were together for 15 years. So, how am I doing so far?
Not very well. Not one of your answers is correct.
So number one here, number A, you listen and practice, listen and repeat. Look, here's a quiz, a short test on events of the 20th century. Of the 20th century, a century, 100 years, 10 decades. Events, important events. Oh, let me give it a try. Give it a try. T soft D. Give it a try. Let me give it a try. I am good at history. Alright, first question. When did World War the first begin? So World War I, the first World War. When did the first World War begin? I think it began in 1917. And how long has the United Nations been in existence? Since Kennedy became president in 1961. Next question. How long were the Beatles together? The Beatles? Band, a group of musicians. Well, they started in 1965 and broke up in 1980, so they were together for 15 years. The Beatles group, those musicians stayed for 15 years. So how am I doing so far? Not very well. Not, O as a sound, not very well. And very well, not very well, not good. Not one of your answers is correct. All your answers are wrong. Now, these of course are some questions in history, and Steve answered all the questions wrong. Okay? Now let's listen to part B. Do you know the answers to the three questions in part A? Listen to the rest of the conversation. What are the correct answers? Now, be ready to write the correct answers.
Page 64, Exercise 2, Part B. Do you know the answers to the three questions in Part A? Listen to the rest of the conversation. What are the correct answers?
So, what are the correct answers then?
Well, World War I began in 1914 and ended in 1918.
Oh, that's right.
And the United Nations was formally established in 1945 following the end of World War II.
And the Beatles?
Well, they started back in 1960 and they broke up in 1970. So they were together for 10 years, not 15.
Did I say I was good at history? I meant geography.
So what are the correct answers? 1. World War I began in 1914 and ended in 1918. The United Nations has been in existence since the end of World War II. World War II, the Second World War. Since 1945. The Beatles were together for 10 years, from 1960 to 1970. Exercise number 3, Grammar Focus.
Page 65, Exercise 3, Grammar Focus. Referring to time in the past. A point or period of time in the past.
When did World War II take place?
During the 1940s. In the 1940s. Over 70 years ago.
How long were the Beatles together?
From 1960 to 1970. For 10 years.
A period of time that continues into the present.
How long has the United Nations been in existence?
Since 1945. Since World War II ended. For about the last 70 years.
Okay guys, so after watching the video, we're going to look at the grammar today. And our grammar today is time references, or referring to time. And we have many different words that we use to refer to time. So let's start over here. When we talk about years, specific years, or even time periods, we use in and during. So, for example, Abby asked her grandpa, "When did you meet Grandma?" And her grandpa said, "We met during the 1940s. So if we look at during, that's talking about, it's referring to time. And in this context, it's a time period. So oftentimes we use during or in to talk about a time period, right? The 1940s. Not very specific. He also said, "We met in 1941. So we use in to also talk about specifically when, in which year specifically. And we can also use during for the specific year. Alright, so remember, in and during we use for specific years and general time periods. Let's look over here. When we talk about actions that are still happening now, but for example they started at some time in the past, we talk about this using since and for. So Abby asked the question, how long have you been together? Right? Well, if we look at this graph, we can see that here we are now, today, and the grandma and the grandpa, they are still together. But in the past, they started dating, they started to be together, their relationship started here in 1941. And that's 70 years total from 1941 to now. So we can use these two in different ways. We use since to talk about the starting point. So for example, 1941 is when they started. So we could use since for that. Or we can think about the duration is 70 years. So we use for the duration of time, right? So the question is, how long have you been together? And the grandpa said, we've been together since 1941. Now let's look at this specific grammar. We remember this is the present perfect, so that's using the auxiliary have and the past participle, right? And when we use this combined with since, that means that they are still together, right? But it started in the past. It started in 1941. So we say we've been together since 1941. We could use for in the same sentence, and we can say we've been together for 70 years. Again, 70 years is a duration of time, and that's why I'm using for with this one. Now again, I'm still using the same grammar, that present perfect, to indicate that this action started in the past, but it's still continuing. It's still happening today. So let's look at this one over here, the amount of time in a past. So when we want to talk about the amount of time in the past that something happened, we use that amount of time and the word ago, right? So if I'm talking about now, but I want to talk about something that happened in the past, I could say 60 years ago, or 200 years ago, or even 1 week ago, right? To talk about how long in the past something happened. So his example was 60 years ago, we didn't have texting. Okay? So again, referencing how many years in the past something happened. Or in this case, something didn't happen. Okay, let's look over here. When we want to talk about when something started and ended, we have a start and end point. We use from and the time, and then to, and again the time. So, for example, Abby asked her grandpa, "When were you in the army?" Right? And he was remembering, and he said, "I was in the army from 1942 to 1945." Right? So that means he started in the army in 1942, and he finished in the army in 1945. So he used from and to indicate when it started and when it ended. And remember, we can use this for anything. We could use about a time, as in, I have class from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, right? So we use this in any type of context, and here we're just using it in years. Okay, guys, so that's the grammar for today, time references. Remember, we use in and during to talk about specific years and time periods. We use since and for to talk about the duration or maybe the starting point of an action that started in the past but that continues to today, right? We use ago to reference how long in the past something happened, right? And we use from and to indicate when something started and when something ended. Alright, guys, so I hope this was helpful, and good luck with the rest of the grammar, and thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
A. Complete the paragraphs with a bold-faced words from the grammar box, then compare with the partner. So in this exercise here, you're gonna use in, for, since, during, from, to. You're going to use these words to complete the two paragraphs. Paragraph 1. So, 1. The planet Pluto. The planet Pluto was discovered in 1930. Scientists accepted this for many years, but the 1970s, but in the 1970s, some began to question if Pluto, British Pluto, American Pluto, if Pluto was indeed a planet like Earth. During 2008, another answer, in 2008, in or during. After a long debate, what's a debate? A discussion, a serious discussion. Pluto was downgraded to a new category. Category, British category, American category. Pluto planet was downgraded. Downgrade, to reduce, to a new category, called dwarf planet, or dwarf, American, very small, tiny, very small planet. Since that time, our solar system has had only 8 planets. So for number 1, the answers N, for, N or since. Since, the last answer. Again, N 1930. For many years. In the 1970s. In 2008 or during 2008. I can say here also during. Since that time. Exercise number 2. The second paragraph, look at the picture. What do you see? This is a dinosaur. And these are horns. A horn. This is a horn. It has a lot of horns. 1, 2, 3, and here you have about 15 horns. Let's read. Scientists found a new species of dinosaur in the United States. Species mean a group of animals which has similar features, similar characteristics. In the US state of Utah in 2007, N plus a year. Like some other species of dinosaur, it ate plants. Unlike other species, however, it had 15 giant horns. Giant, very, very, very big horns on its head. These dinosaurs lived for over 30 million years. During scientists believe they lived from about 68 to 99 million years ago. So again the answer for number 2. In 2007. For over 30 million. During the period from to ago. B. Group work. Write 2 true and 2 false statements about world events. Then take turns reading your statements. Others give correct information for the false statements, for the false sentences. So in this exercise here we have group work between you and your friend. A student say a wrong information and his friend corrects the information for him. Example A. Bill Clinton, this is the American president. Bill Clinton was president of the United States for 4 years. This is of course wrong. That's false. He was president for 8 years. He was president for 8 years. Because Bill Clinton was a president for 2 times. 2 periods. Exercise number 4. Pronunciation. Pronunciation syllable stress. We said what's stress? Stress is to make the sound longer, louder, and higher. In this exercise, we're gonna listen to the words, to these words, okay? And we'll put the words in the section. So here, you have the stress. You have the word 4 syllables, the first word 4 parts, but the stress on the second part. Here you have 4 parts, 4 syllables. Disadvantage, 4 parts, but the stress on the first part and on part number 3. Part number 1 and part number 3. But the main stress here on part 3. Here, the main stress on part number 2. This word communication. So this word communication. So this word 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. But the stress on part number 4.
Page 65, Exercise 4, Pronunciation. Syllable stress. Part A. Listen and practice. Notice which syllable has the main stress in these 4 and 5 syllable words. Notice the secondary stress.
Identify. Disadvantage. Communication. Identify. Disadvantage. Communication. Identify. Disadvantage. Communication.
Page 65, Exercise 4, Part B. Listen to the words in the box. Which syllable has the main stress? Write the words in the correct column in Part A.
Appreciate. Assassination. Catastrophe. Consideration. Conversation. Revolution. Appreciate. Assassination. Catastrophe. Consideration. Conversation. Revolution.
So now here, let's get the words. Identify. Identify here, the words catastrophe. Catastrophe. The stress here, catastrophe on AS. Appreciate. Appreciate. So identify, catastrophe, appreciate. Death. Disadvantage. Disadvantage. Revolution. Conversation. Revolution. Conversation. So in group 2, the stress, revolution, LU. Conversation, SA, the stress on SA. Here, group 3, communication, assassination, assassination, consideration, ration. So assassination, stress on NA, assassination. Consideration, ration. Stress on RA, ration. On A sound. Exercise number 5. Word power. Historic events. A. Match each word with the best example, then compare with the partner. So here we have different words and we have their meanings. So we match the word with example. Achievement. You know, achievement, of course, when you achieve something. This is number. Take your time and try to answer first. Number H. In 1953, Sir Edmund Hillary and the Sherbet Tenzing Norgay were the first to reach the summit of Mount Everest. The summit, the top of Mount Everest. This is the highest mountain all over the world. So this is achievement. So number 1, H. Number 2, assassination. Assassination, this is of course to kill someone who is in a political position, like a president, a minister. Assassination, G. Assassination, number 2, G. U.S. President John F. Kennedy was shot to death in 1963. 3. Discovery. To discover something, but this something is already exist. So this is number D. In 2003, a dinosaur with feathers and 4 wings was found in China. So number 3, D. 4, election. F. In 2008, Barack Obama beat John McCain to become US president. This is, of course, the election of the President of the United States. 5, epidemic. Epidemic, this is a disease, but this disease happened for a lot of people. Number 5E. Since the late 1970s, HIV, this is AIDS, HIV, has infected more than 60 million people. More than 60 million people has HIV disease. 6. Natural disaster. Natural disaster. S-Z. Natural disaster. So number 6, this is A. Natural disaster, the eruption. The eruption of Mount St. Helens in 1980 destroyed over 250 homes. So this is natural disaster. The eruption, this is the eruption of a volcano. 7. Revolution. Revolution means the change of the political system. 7b. In the late 18th century, 13 American colonies broke free of British rule. So the 13 American colonies, they broke free, they become free of British rule. 8. Terrorist act. This is a terrorist act. This is an action of terrorism, related to terrorism. So number 8, C. 4 planes were hijacked in the United States on September 11, 2001. So again, the answers. Number 1, H. 2, G. 3, D. 4, F. 5, E. 6, A. 7, B. 8, C. B. Pair work. Give another example for each kind of historic event in Part A. So here, for every word, we'll give another example. Like achievement, for example, the exploration of Mars is an amazing achievement. The exploration, the discovery of Mars is an amazing achievement, is a wonderful achievement. Exercise number 6, discussion. It made a difference. Group work. Choose 2 or 3 historic events, important events in history, such as an election, an epidemic, a disease, an achievement, anything that had an impact on your country, that had an effect on your country. Discuss the questions. So here is the group work. You and your friends, you can talk about any achievement, election, epidemic, any important event. What happened or what was achieved? When did it happen? What was the immediate effect on your country? How did your country affect this? The world, what was the immediate effect on the world, on your family? Did it change things permanently? Did it change things forever? And how is life different now? Example, Recently, a large oil field was discovered off the coast of Brazil. A very big oil field was discovered off the coast of Brazil. This is near Brazil. So this is a great achievement. So this has happened in the past. What was the immediate effect on your country? Brazil became one of the best 10 countries all over the world in economy. They have a lot of petroleum, a lot of oil. That was a great impact. How this affect your family if you work, if you live in Brazil? My father worked in a petroleum company. We become rich. Did it change things permanently? Yes, it changed the life of Brazilian people for a long time. How is life different now? The Brazilian people are rich now and their economy becomes better and better. Exercise number 7, writing a biography. So this is a way of writing to write about someone's life. Example A. Find information about a person who has had a major influence on the world or your country. You have to write about someone who has a great influence, a great effect on the world and your country. You have to answer these questions and write a biography. What is this person famous for? He was famous for doing what? How and when did he or she become famous? When, the time, and how? What are his or her important achievements? So here, let's get an example. Kim Dae-jung. This is 1925 to 2009. The first date, this is the birth, 2009 death. This is the beginning of his life, this is the end of his life. Kim Dae-jung became famous during the 1960s. He becomes famous, very famous, during the 1960s. This is 1960s, since 1960 to 1969. When he was first elected to the government, who was chosen to the government, he became an opposition leader and spent many years in the 1970s and 1980s in prison. He was the leader of the opposition and he stayed in prison for many years. He was president of South Korea from 1998 to 2003. So he became a president for South Korea for 5 years. He was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2000 for his efforts toward peace, democracy, and human rights. So in 2000, he has Nobel Peace Prize. He was given the Nobel Peace Prize in 2000 for his efforts towards peace, democracy, and human rights. Kim Dae-jung died in 2009. So you can write about any person like this. You write about the important events in his life and we'll start with the date of birth and the last date. This is the death date. If the person is still alive, you can write until now. You can put the date 2017. Now that's the end of unit number 10, part 1. Now the homework number 1, keep the words by heart, listen and repeat. Answer the first 3 pages of unit 10, Interchange 3 workbook. 4th edition, of course. Watch the video of Mr. Kyle Ralphson of the Grammar. You will have it on Mr. Kyle's channel. Also, go to www.cambridge.org/interchangearcade/ for more exercises. Thanks for watching. Hope you like it, share it, and subscribe. Wish you all good luck. Discussion, a discussion. A debate, a serious discussion. Dwarf, American, dwarf, dwarf. Very small. Downgrade, downgrade, to reduce to a lower rank or position, to reduce. Downgrade, to reduce. To reduce rank or position. Exploration, discovering. Spacecraft, space vehicle, spaceship. Rovers, a strong, powerful vehicle designed for traveling over sweep ground. Rovers, strong, powerful vehicle designed for traveling over sweep ground. Here I can make the G silent. Traveling, traveling. For traveling over steep ground. Steep. This is like bumpy road. 4. Catastrophe, catastrophe. Disaster, disaster. Calamity, calamity. Disadvantage, shortcoming. Disadvantage, disadvantage. Shortcoming. Revolution, revolution. A change in the way of a country is governed. Revolution, a change in the way a country is governed. Usually to a different political system. Revolution, a change in the way a country is governed. Revolution, a change of the political system. This is a change in the political system of a country. Assassination, assassination, killing an important person, usually for political reasons. Assassination, killing an important person, usually for political reasons. 5. Words of exercise number 5. Epidemic, P for pen. Epidemic, the appearance of a disease. The appearance of a disease. Terrorist act, terrorist act. Luxury, luxury, great comfort, great comfort. Cell phone, mobile, cell phone, cell, E as a sound, cell phone, mobile. Hijack, hijacked, hijacked. When someone uses force to take control of an aircraft. Hijack, when someone uses force to take control of an aircraft. When someone uses force, power, to take control of an aircraft. Feathers, feathers. Summit, top. 6. Impact, effect, influence. Impact. Welcome to English for Arabs channel. Today we're gonna have Unit 10, Part 1, Interchange 3, 4th edition, Unit 10, Part 1. Unit 10, the past and the future. 1. Fade, fade, to lose color, brightness, to lose color, brightness, or strength gradually, strength, G silent. Fade, to lose color. hit the music scene, become known in the world of music. Launching, starting. Launching, starting. British, American, launching, starting. Craze, a fashion that's popular for a short time. Craze, a fashion that's popular for a short time. Overnight sensation, a sudden success. Overnight sensation, a sudden success. Sweeps the nation, becomes popular very quickly. 3. Words of exercise number 3. Debate, a serious discussion. Debate, effort, influence. 7. Biography, award, awarded. Award, to give. Promote, a higher position. Unit 10. The past and the future. Exercise number 1. Snapshot. "50 years of fades." Fade, to lose brightness. But here, 50 years of fades, it means something appeared suddenly and then disappeared. Picture number 1. This is Barbie, 1959. The first Barbie doll comes on the market. Doll, this is doll like a puppet. A toy. Barbie doll. So this is especially for girls. In 1959, the first Barbie doll comes on the market. In 1979, disco becomes the latest dance craze. Craze mania. Like people like to do it, to go to dance clubs, so they go to disco to dance. In 1980, millions of Rubik's cubes are sold. So these are some cubes. This is a cube, and millions of these cubes are sold. In 1998, Pokemon becomes an overnight sensation. Pokemon becomes a very famous, successful suddenly. 2005, the first of 4 Twilight books is released. The beginning of 4 Twilight books is released. "2010, look at the picture. The popular TV show Lost comes to a close. So in 2010, a very famous television show called Lost in an island, becomes to a close. It becomes to an end. It was about to be finished. Have any of these faiths ever been popular in your country? In Egypt? Have any of these faiths becomes famous in Egypt? Yes. Barbie,